Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel and its match preview. Europa League action, Fenerbahce versus Manchester United. Erik ten Hag up against a familiar face in José Mourinho. Get involved in today's chat, everyone, with your own opinions, and we'll try and discuss them throughout today's video. How's your mood going into this game? Are you up for it? Are you excited? Do you expect the win, most importantly?
Well, everything's changing in this game. The build-up to it, the mood around it, the noise around the game, everything's changing. Even my prediction about what's happening with this game. There doesn't seem to be a pile on our players going into this game. Seems to have eased off by the media. Erik ten Hag, where's all the Erik ten Hag shouts? I'm not seeing it. It seems to have turned this game directly on its head, aimed at José Mourinho and Fenerbahce. The pressure has been turned round and eased off Erik ten Hag and these players. That's how I see it. I just see the mood changing day by day. And we actually spoke yesterday, and since then, I've been sort of like, keep thinking about this game. Whereas like a week ago, or even after the Porto game, it wasn't really on my mind. But the noise around the game, you know, some of it's deafening, to be honest with you, you know, and I'm thinking, this is a big game. Each day it keeps getting bigger and bigger because of José Mourinho and the pressure what's on him. And it seems to have come off United.
Do you feel like it's a big test, though, for this Manchester United squad, in particular the manager as well, pitting his wits against someone like José Mourinho?
Listen, go to Fenerbahce is always a test, the noise, the ground, everything. But obviously with the situation what United's in, you know, we have to win games. That's how everyone seems to see it now. You know, getting in this Europa League, got to win this game. That's how some people see it. In the Premier Leagues, it's the same, points on the board. That's what we need. Yes, it's a big game, massive game now, this is. And the media are sort of like bumping it up more and more as the hours go by. And the fans are getting in on it as well. People seem to be warming to this game and how big it is, not just for Erik ten Hag, but for Fenerbahce and José Mourinho as well.
Yeah, it's always good, though, to put one over on a previous manager or even previous players, which there's some familiar faces as well in that Fenerbahce side where you expect like the likes of Fred to start, Amrabat as well, Dusan Tadic, who I think played under Erik ten Hag at Ajax, Edin Dzeko as well plays for him in the forward areas. I think even Sejuncu, is it? The Turkish lad who used to play for Leicester, probably pronounced that wrong, but you know who I mean out there, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, you know, there's familiar names in there, and I think that adds to the atmosphere of like what's going on out there. Like, hey, these players know our players. They know the Premier League. They know what they're up against. Yeah. And if you look at it, and there is a little bit as if to say, Amrabat, will he turn round now? Will he turn round and say, hey, you should have signed me and I'm going to prove why? So there's that fear amongst United fans. So I've heard that conversation go on. And then, obviously, Fred, much maligned Fred at Manchester United by a big section of Manchester United supporters. And he'll be running around with that smile on his face. You know what it's like. No matter whether he gives the ball away or anything, he just sort of like looks round and smiles. Yeah. Well, he's going to go out there with a big smile on his face and he's going to prove to some Man United, well, a lot of Man United fans, right, the criticism wasn't fair. So, yes, there is a lot going on this game, a lot around it, I should say.
Yeah, Keith says, as we all know as well, with Mourinho's time at Manchester United, when it was coming to the end, and he says, Jose always difficult to play against, but when his teams are in trouble, it does get toxic.
Yeah, it gets toxic and he turns it round. So these press conferences, what are coming with Erik ten Hag and José Mourinho, and when he starts talking to the press, he knows how to press that button and get it going and hype it up and then he knows the pressure's on him and he's going to try and turn it on Erik ten Hag and the Manchester United players. He's a master at it, master of arts, dark arts, whatever you want to call it. So the temperature's rising now. Wait till he starts opening his mouth. And that Turkish press, that media, they're flying at the moment. They're already up there. So Jose will just turn the heat up. And to be honest, I can't wait because it's exciting me, this game, and I never thought it would.
Yeah, Martin said it's always a tough game in Istanbul. We should win. Fenerbahçe not in great form and Mourinho under pressure. I don't think Fenerbahçe have won any of the games in October currently. And we're looking at our starting 11. Bruno Fernandes is suspended. A lot of us out there seem to think maybe Xerxes or Amad Diallo might start in Bruno's position. Myself personally, I think we should move Eriksen further forward and slot Ugarte in alongside Casemiro, which hopefully he does start because he did pick up a knock towards the end of that Brentford game.
When you get people talking about playing Xerxes there or Amad there, you know, what you're talking about really is the manager experimenting in a European away tie. And me personally, I can't see that. I think it's just a straightforward, put Eriksen there. I think it's as simple as that. I think too many people are trying to we need to overcomplicate things. And really, there's actually no need for it. You just put Eriksen there. It's who you put in at the back, who's fit and all that. And obviously, the people who are fit, people injured and that, will get further updates as we go on. So I think the main talking point is Bruno. Nice and simple. That's how I see it. Let's not overcomplicate it. Eriksen, bang, you're in.
Dan Fenton, lads, have you heard that Xerxes wants to go back to Italy in January? I can't see that, mate, to be honest with you. Not right now. I think it's just the media, as they normally do, trying to pile pressure on a player who currently isn't performing and hasn't started off great to his life at Manchester United at the moment. But let's hope he does hit the ground running at some point soon. Yeah,
I think that's just a clear... I mean, how many times do we hear this, especially before a game and that press coming out or people leaking so-called rumours from a source and all that, this player... You know, talking about him going to Italy, me personally, I think it's utter nonsense. And really, we shouldn't even be promoting things like that because Xerxes just got here. He's not settled in proper. He's not had a proper run at the game. So it's early days for him yet.
Yeah, I do think the front three, Højlund's got to start for me. On the left-hand side, Rashford. And I do think he'll play Amad on the right-hand side. And then I think he'll do that rotation similar to what we're seeing against Porto with Rashford and Garnacho. You've also got a look on the weekend. It's a tight turnaround from that Fenerbahçe game, then going into the Premier League against West Ham on Sunday. So I do think he'll want to keep them two fresh, Garnacho and Rashford, because I think they will start definitely against West Ham. So I think he'll give him roughly an half each, 45 minutes, or even one of them who starts 60 minutes.
Well, it just depends on the game, how long, how the game's going, how long each player gets. But I do agree that Garnacho on the bench for this one, because I think bringing Garnacho on at a certain stage in the game will put the fear into Fenerbahçe and will sort of push them back. Because when Garnacho comes on, as a sub, whether it's for half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever, his job will be to go straight at him. So José Mourinho will know that, and he's a tactician. He knows what to do, and he'll try and work the players and position him to try and stop him. So that is the fear what Garnacho will bring by being sub and coming on. So I think it's a good ploy to have Garnacho out there. We know he had an excellent game the other day. We know he can do it. But as an explosive 30 minutes, listen, this is your job. Go for it. Push him back. It then creates space for other players because they start then piling on Garnacho. So, yeah, for me, I think Højlund up front, shoeing obviously. Bring Amad on and Rashford there. I think that's very, very sensible.
Let us know what your back four is going to be for Fenerbahçe. Just while I read out a super chat from Akil, much appreciated, mate.
Thank you.
It says Ten Hag and his team, Ten Hag hasn't tweaked the tactics of his team much. It's players executing the plans put forward from the beginning of the season. Patience, our tempo has improved.
Yeah, patience is the name of the game, to be honest with you. He hasn't changed much. It's the players. They're the ones what have to change. We've heard about talking about they're doing it in the training, but it's not happening on the pitch. I'm baffled by why it's not happening on the pitch. If you look at the second half, Brentford, you look at the whole game and you say to yourself, there's vastly improvement there. You look at the Aston Villa, it was a performance where they all stuck together. So the mood's changing. It's as though like something's clicked. Not just in the press, with the fans and everything else. And the mood, that second half that Brentford's got, it's put confidence in. And I just look as though, and I think to myself, has it clicked with the players and the management all in one go? Thursday night will tell us Sunday at West Ham will tell us. But the mood's changed and the optimism is there from us all. That's how I'm reading the mood and the noise around.
Nikos says, we've been embarrassed under Erik ten Hag in Europe and we need to start strong. Squire 7 says, getting 90 minutes out of our players is something that concerns me. And I did ask you a question earlier on about the back four who starts. For me, you save Johnny Evans for this game, leave him on the bench, start him against West Ham on the weekend. Does Mazraoui come back in and start on the right-hand side, start De Ligt and Martinez with Delo on the left, just like we did against Porto?
I think that's a sensible option. Just playing them for, why not? Defenders there. And I think it could be the same team for Sunday, to be honest with you. But looking at Thursday night, I think that's the most, it's solid. And that's what you want. You need to be solid.
Yeah, the thing is with De Ligt and Martinez, though, they did have a tough time in Porto, didn't they? They got hooked off as well. We see Maguire coming on, who got the third goal, was it? And, you know, Johnny Evans coming on. So them two need to put in a performance together. And it'll be a tough one to do as well away to Fenerbahce if they do start together.
Look, of course it's going to be tough. But they're up for it. You know, you just seen him. I mean, you quoted him the other day, De Ligt, warrior. That's what you like to see, the fighting spirit. Well, you're going to need that fighting spirit. There's going to be like toing and froing in this game. And De Ligt there, shown the fighting spirit. I have no problems with that back four whatsoever. I just look at like what someone just said before about Europe and all that. We've had disastrous results under Erik ten Hag, right? But that's gone now, okay? We're looking forward. We've been through a bad run. Fans have been depressed. Fans have been angry. The media have been at us, everything else like that. But the mood is changing here now. And I've got a good feeling. And there is a good feeling outside there, outside of here, towards this game. And the pressure seems to be easing and virtually coming off Erik ten Hag. It seems to be the other way round. So, yes, some bad results.
I think people will come back at you about pressure easing off Erik ten Hag. For me personally, this is a test against him as a manager, against José Mourinho. Even if we come away from there with 3 points, I think it's about not necessarily the pressure easing on him, but it's about them looking at it thinking, can we build some momentum now? Getting the 3 points against Brentford, if we've got the 3 points against Fenerbahce, let's build on that now. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, instead of Erik ten Hag biting back with pundits who are criticising his tactics, his overall performance of his teams, let's start seeing a run of games, because that will shut pundits up, shut the negative opinions out there from not just the media out there, some fans as well. Let's see a winning run of 4, 5, 6 games on the run.
Listen, we all want to see 4, 5, 6 games. A winning run, that's understandable. Listen, the pressure's never off Manchester United. The criticism is never off Man United. It's the feeling what's out there amongst United fans. The criticism over the last few days seems to have died down. That's my point. It seems to have died down on the players, on the manager, and the criticism going into this game seems to be all focused on Fenerbahce, their players, their poor performances of late, and also on José Mourinho. And like I say, that criticism will come back at some point because Jose will turn it round like he does.
Yeah, there's a couple of negative opinions in the chat.
No,
not happy with, you know, the performance. Some people think we're going to get beat. Mourinho's going to turn us over, etc. But you know
that's fine.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, Fenerbahce, they're not in a great run of form themselves. You know, it's a big test for these Manchester United players. You know, we've drawn the first opening games in it. Can we get 3 points on the board? I'm confident going into this one, to be honest with you. Excited as well.
Look, this is a massive test. You know, we've had a couple of games now, a couple of points. That's all we've got out of it. And I look at it, well, a lot of people will look at it, go over there, draw, win. Next game, what have we got? We've got 2 games at home in this group. So you win them 2 games. So there's optimism there. So if we get a draw, there's a point. Win 3 points, good position. All good feeling going into Sunday. And then the next thing you know, in this group, we've got 2 home games, which we are expected to win. And then the pressure's sort of like off. And we're in a solid position then in the group. And that's how I'm looking at it. And I think other people are looking at it as well. Winning this game or getting a point, we're in a solid position because we've got 2 home games which we're expected to win. So it's vital we don't put pressure on ourselves by losing on Thursday night. And I don't think we will lose. I mean, I actually thought when I was talking yesterday about the game, that we'd draw and that I'd be happy with the draw. I've got a funny feeling because of what's going on around that the pressure will be too much for Jose this time because it is immense and on that Fenerbahce side. And I think United will come away with a win and put themselves in a really strong position. I think it's looking good. And I think people are starting to see that this change is going on.
Look, I actually, me personally, think coming away with a draw from Fenerbahce isn't a disappointing result at all, especially when you've got then 2 home games after that in the Europa League. But what makes you confident and makes you think that we can come away from Istanbul with 3 points? When you're talking about you've seen a change, a mood, etc.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it around. I'm feeling it from the media on the TV, in the papers, online, everything else like that. And like looking at Erik Ten Hag, the way he's talking, the way the players are, there just seems to be something different. Now, I don't know whether it's just blind faith or stupidity as a Manchester United fan, what people do sometimes accuse me of having, right, when I pick my results or scores. But I genuinely believe that the mood and the noise around this game is coming from the media, and that media is around Manchester United, and they don't seem to be on the attack because they feel something's different. I see something different. Now, we might go over there and get walloped 4-0. You can all come back, and then whatever you want to say, you say. But I'm just going off what I feel, what I see, and what's going on over in Turkey. You cannot underestimate what's going on in Turkey against José Mourinho. It is 24 hours a day over there. It's not like here, you know, wake up 8 o'clock and then 9 o'clock it's all over. No, it is constant over there. So the noise, everything is giving me that's why my mood's changed. And obviously I have a bit of art with the way they went at Brentford in the second half, and it showed me that they can do it. There's a bit of belief, and I go back to it again. And there is a fighting spirit in this side, because that fighting spirit was shown at Aston Villa, where they all rolled the sleeves up, they all stuck together and played for 90 minutes. But can they do it in Fenerbahce? That's the question. Can they do it? Let's hope they can. I'm hoping they can, and I believe we can turn it into a win. Whereas I thought only yesterday, I thought a draw would be a great result. I thought it'd be a great, and it would still be a great result. I'd still be happy with the draw because, like I say, it will still put us in a solid position in the group because of the 2 home games, what we've got coming up in the group.
Hopefully he's made that nice and clear for you all out there. And what he thinks for the game and coming away with it with either a draw or a win. But I'm looking at this game, taking Bruno Fernandes out of it, obviously suspended.
Yeah.
The team then dropped something, in my opinion, and that's the energy, especially when Ten Hag wants his front 3-4 to press. So who's going to take that mantle? Who's going to start that press off, especially with it being effective? Can you actually see it being effective? Because I can't. If I'm being honest with you, I would rather the front 3, the front 4, just sit back off the actual back 4 of Fenerbahce, try and let him play it into midfield, then jump on the midfield. We've got Fred in there, who you mentioned earlier on. How many times did we see him used to put in Rosette for Manchester United, put his old hand up, smiling? I think
how we've got to look at this, okay, and not go too overboard. Like I say, I do get accused of going overboard, right? And I'm not going to go overboard. So I'm going to try and explain it in my own way. I look at United there. Yes, they can press, but can they press for 90 minutes? No. So we're not going to get it. We are not going to get it. It's okay wanting to press this way and do this and do that. It ain't going to happen over 90 minutes. And what you want to see, right, is that when they do press in certain areas, that they do it as a team. Yeah, okay? Yeah. They're not going to do it time and time again because it will drop down. It will fail. Okay, nothing has given me the confidence to say that when United press, they'll carry on doing the same press throughout the game. No, I'm not that deluded. I know that they'll do the press and it will fail sometimes, but they've got to do it to the best they can, and it won't happen all the time. That's how I see it. So let's just hope that they do it and they do it well, that when they do it, it works. And that's all you can ask for. It's not going to work all the time. This isn't a great side. This isn't a great team, okay? And they've still got to get it together. A long way to go yet to get this pressing right.
Yeah, a lot of people coming up with stats and how poor we've actually been, to be fair, in Europe, you know, Europa League, Champions League as well. And they're coming up with them stats to sort of like bolster their own agenda and negativity in the chat. Some of them. About why the result will go against Manchester United. Yeah,
well, you know, United have done it before where they've surprised lots of people in many, many games. That's what Man United's all about. But if you're using stats to look at the game on Thursday night, then I don't know what you're on about, to be honest with you, because stats aren't on the pitch. It's just like, oh, look, there's the team on a piece of paper. Well, you don't win anything on a piece of paper. And the stats previously about a record of how United have performed lately, what I think what you're saying is, oh, look at Erik ten Hag. His record in Europe is absolute garbage. Well, I've got the optimism for United. I look forward to this game. Many, many United fans do. So I think what you need to do is put the stats away. We all know the poor. We all know the poor. So if people have got an agenda, fine, that's up to you. But I don't see what use it is coming up with, oh, we was rubbish last year, we finished last in the group. It's been poor. We all know that. But now there's a sense of optimism, and that's what I want. And I think many, many United fans have got that sense of optimism going forward. So let's carry it through into Thursday and then also into the West Ham game on Sunday.
Lahel, I think I pronounced that right, my mate. We've been embarrassed in Europe under this Ten Hag guy. These are facts, not negativity. But try and look at a positive point of view.
Yeah, we're going into a game on Thursday.
You know, back your team, back your manager. You know, it should be a good game of football. Erik ten Hag versus Mourinho. You know, it's going to be a tough game. But for me, you know, I'm optimistic with this game. And like I said before, I wouldn't be too disappointed coming away with a point. 2 on fixtures after that. And I do think we can actually get the 3 points. You know, you look at Rasmus Højlund in particular, the way he took that goal against Brentford. That goal, the way he took that, shows you how confident he is. So if we can get him in them scoring positions, more than likely he will finish. Marcus Rashford as well, a lot of his out there said he had one of his best games, well, his best game of the season. So let's see if we can get that out of him again. Garnacho as well, if he comes on as a sub or starts the game as well on one of the flanks, let's hope the front 3 and front 4, whoever it is, you know, actually put it to Fenerbahce, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure there'll be a confidence and a good mood around them front 4 and attacking players.
Well, if you look at Højlund's goal, absolute class. And like I say, the composure and everything was there. So it's good. And this is one of the reasons why you should be looking forward to the game on Thursday. Eriksen's there. It's going to be interesting to see how Eriksen works with him, with the little short pass or a little chip or something like that. And a little run, because what I like about Eriksen on the edge of the area, he does a little run, does a little touch in that position where Bruno is supposed to play. And you've seen Bruno on Saturday do that flick. He was in the right place. And I think Eriksen, it's going to be very interesting. And he's got the confidence, Højlund, now. So you have to look at the game, and that's what you should be looking at, the game, not calling Eriksen Erik ten Hag, that guy. I mean, you're looking forward to a game, not running down the manager or anything like that. You need to sort of like look at the game and change your attitude in that. It's not about past losses and bad stats. It's a game of football. United fans should be looking forward to it. It's a big game now, this.
Yeah, with Eriksen, that's why I prefer him in that number 10 role for this game, with Bruno being suspended, because he will run into the space in the attacking areas. Christian Eriksen is very, very good at doing that. And, you know, 2 Danes alike, Højlund and Eriksen, can they form some chemistry there, which I'm sure they've always had. You know, for the Denmark team, probably the negative people come out there with some stats that the stats haven't been good for them two creating goals between each other, assists, etc. But I'm confident with the front 4 going into this one. I do think they'll be up for it. I think the team will be up for it. And I think Erik ten Hag will be looking forward to this one, and he'll want to get one over on José Mourinho. I really do. Because he's come out with comments about the way United have been playing under ten Hag in the past, and they've not been great comments. He's been trying to pour a bit of hot water on Erik ten Hag, like most of the pundits or ex-managers out there, against the whole club at some points. And I'm fully backing this United team and manager into this game.
Yeah, I look at the game and you sort of say to yourself...
To be honest with you, some of the negative comments in the chat actually makes me want to back him even more.
Well, that's right. I mean? That's right. I mean,
it actually does.
Well, we go into every game backing United.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. We're there. I encourage myself, as I like to say, like there's negativity. Yeah. Well, we're not negative. Yeah. You know, we back our team regardless of stats from last season in the Champions League or anything like that. We look at the game. We look forward to the game. And like I said, the last couple of days, I've been really looking for, and I think it's going to get bigger and bigger. I just look there now and I think to myself, Erik ten Hag, he's got to get these players playing positive and with speed, and I think that's the way forward against this side, Fenerbahce, because I think they'll be fearful. That crowd's turning on them. Yeah. So I just want to see a positive start, good football, fast football. I don't really want to see United sort of holding and dwelling on the ball where they can be pounced on. I think that's where United, for a long time now, have failed, playing slow football, playing it out slow, where they get closed down and they get pounced on. That, for me, European tie, you need to play it, move it. None of this 3-4 times touching the ball before you release it. I think there has to be a quick movement. And I think United will start showing a bit of character and a change in how they play. That's how I feel. That's what I think's going to happen. I am really, really looking forward to it. And I'm telling you now, so should every United fan.
Yeah, just had to clear it up. There's quite a lot of positivity as well in the chat. A lot of you's getting involved with your score predictions, how you think Manchester United will set up with the tactics, etc. And a lot of you's looking forward to the game as well. A few of you's mentioning that we should block the negativity in the chat, but we don't do that. No one can rain on our parade when it comes to our club and backing our manager and our players. So, like we say, we keep looking forward to every single game. Sometimes you are coming out the grounds in recent games and last season where you're shrugging your shoulders, let's face it. But this game here, on the back of a win against Brentford, a lot of the trolls out there and the negativity will say, oh, it was only Brentford. But you've got to start somewhere, and you always celebrate a win no matter who it's against, whether it's against Wrexham, Stockport, Real Madrid. You celebrate a win, and going into this game, I'm looking forward to it. But like I said, I won't be disappointed with a draw coming away from there at all.
No, listen, I've supported United that long now. It's water off a duck's back to me. Honest to God, it doesn't bother me at all, the negativity and all that. My job, right, the way I support United is to put encouragement out there, put belief out there. I've had conversations all my life where we all get together, right? And in the most ridiculous moments, we believe, you know, and people just look and think, what are you talking about? Yeah. Well, you're there to support your team, so believe. That's how I look at it. Yes, I'll always get negative comments and everything else like that, but hey, that's fine. It gives me more and more reason to keep talking to yous out there and saying, believe. Yes, it's bad. It will be up and down. But, you know, you've got to believe that it'll get right one day. And it will get right one day. But it's tough. And some days are really, really tough, where your enthusiasm and that, you know, it is waning. But then you have to get up. And I'm here to get you up in the bad times, you know what I mean? And I'm here to celebrate with yous when the good times are here. And it ain't good times at the moment because it's all hope at the moment. Bit of optimism thrown in. That's all I can give you. You know that. I know that. And there'll always be hate and there'll always be criticism. But that's fine. That's football. And that's the conversation. And that's why we're here.
I actually loved the week in the build-up to the FA Cup final.
Fantastic.
Man United and City. The amount of negative comments that was coming through on this channel. You don't know what you're talking about. Erik ten Hag out, blah, blah, blah. And then you see the performance that we put in on that day. And I can literally probably say with certainty that all the negative comments that we were seeing on the channel that week, not one of them come back after that game to say anything.
Do you know something?
Not that it's point scoring, but some people need to look a little bit further than the end of this, what's on the face, and think of the long term. Like someone mentioned before, we've just got to have a little bit of patience. There's a lot of young lads in this squad who are going to be developing over the next 2 to 3 years. It's not rosy right now. It's not where we want to be. But you can see some something that's being built there within the squad with certain players, that something will happen in the next 2 to 3 years where we will have signs of positivity. Whether the manager will be still here and it'll be Erik ten Hag, who knows? God only knows that. But certain players in this team, I think, will be top players in the future for Man United. So I think that's what gives me confidence going forward.
Do you know something? Going back, okay, the best week I had supporting Man United, right, was when Erik ten Hag got here and we got thrashed at Brentford away because we played Liverpool at home.
Liverpool? What? Brentford?
First 2 games.
Oh, we was in Norway.
We was in Norway.
Yeah, me, you.
We was in Norway. First 2 games, got beat. I think it was Brighton at home and then Brentford. And then we had Liverpool at home. And I was the only one supporting United saying, we're going to beat Liverpool. But I wasn't just saying it as a deluded United fan. I was telling you the reasons why. Right? Because Erik ten Hag had no choice to drop certain players. He just got in as manager. Right? And there it was in front of everyone's eyes at Brentford, right, who had to be dropped. And he dropped him. And we turned Liverpool over. And I told you the reason why. And the fight, and it was Liverpool, it's Man United. And how Erik ten Hag would get it out of these players. After 3 games, absolutely fantastic. So there is moments where everyone is down on the floor, okay? But then I try and look at it in a different way sometimes. And sometimes some people take the way I look at it as a negative or something like that. And sometimes they take it as a positive when I mean a negative, because I'm not the best one for explaining sometimes when I'm giddy.
6 years without a trophy, wasn't it, from Mourinho to Erik ten Hag? Without a trophy, he's won 2 back-to-back. People won't like that out there who are negative on the manager. You know, it is going to be a tough game between these two. It's going to be a very tactical one, I think. And, you know, he's getting a lot of pelters, Mourinho, about not analysing the opposition. It's not been good enough from ex-players.
He's been accused.
Yeah, not knowing what he's doing, basically. And I'd take that with a pinch of salt because
he knows
what he's doing.
Yeah.
José Mourinho, especially with like the dark arts of football, knows how to get a crowd going, his own players going if it's going against him. And I'm really looking forward to this one. I actually do think it'll have everything in this game. You might even possibly see red cards, maybe for José Mourinho on the sidelines, even from a United coaching staff. But I think it'll have everything in this game. I do think it'll have late drama as well.
I think the late drama will come. You seem to get that now in football a lot, the late drama. It's happening more and more. The games are lasting longer, to be honest with you. Yeah. But yesterday I was thinking a draw. I'd be happy with a draw. But I've looked at it now and I think to myself, I'm going 2-1, me. I'm really, really confident of 2-1 because, like, if they've got a player like Garnacho on the bench and we need to get a goal, I think there's plenty of goals in this. But for me, I'm going for a conservative 2-1. I can't see at this moment. There's nothing telling me we're going to get beat, and I'm confident now that we're going to win. So I'm sticking with 2-1. I did change my mind that I'd be happy with a draw. When it comes down to it, if we get a draw, yeah, I'll be happy with it. But I don't believe we're going to draw. I believe we're going to win.
All the hype, the positivity that we've got. Thinking there's going to be late drama, loads of things going on in the game.
0-0.
It'll have everything. It's going to be a boring 0-0.
It certainly won't be. It certainly will not be a boring 0-0.
Yeah.
Jose on the sideline will not allow that. He's under massive pressure. He won't be sat down. He will not be sat down. He will be causing murders. Because he needs to convince the Turkish crowd, the Turkish press, everything. He needs to be seen to be being active, and he's not going to sit there and just let the game waltz by.
Yeah, a lot of positivity in the chat now. After midway through the video, a little bit of negative comments coming in. Looks like a lot of fans out there are doing what United fans should do, and that's stick together, back the team, back the manager. and always look for the positives before they go into the game. Any negatives that come out of the game with the result, performances, etc., we're always here to dissect it and go through it and give our own opinions with everyone out there. But after this game and the full-time whistle goes, I think Manchester United will come out of there with at least a point. But let us know what your thoughts and opinions are on the result, your starting 11, all that good stuff. And don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow with another live video, so get that notification on. And most importantly, support us by smashing that like button. Have a good day, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.